Vaid a dogs the rain malon, she calak voiach ladachu, bugrem a sulse wat in hun, nan jack a chus nan diljakan. Bugrem a sulse wat in hun, nan jack a chus nan diljakan. Good gilugerait nan snjach gaban, ha kuði dars na monian. Good gilugerait nan snjach gaban, ha kuði dars na monian. Good im of rain and cold, nerchedi yalak nam dunakami. Good im of rain and cold, nerchedi yalak nam dunakami. Snaranik me yalin yochov, sound famugov asteruvagich. Snaranik me yalin yochov, sound famugov asteruvagich. Unshading Vaseline yochov, chajianu good gemtilya. Unshading Vaseline yochov, chajianu good gemtilya. If lepi lad chanai mitav, sef lepi arsht chachadatami. If lepi lad chanai mitav, sef lepi arsht chachadatami. Min ju san cheir krach glamhin, eshilig yir saturaman. Min ju san cheir krach glamhin, eshilig yir saturaman. Gorin and dov kumrum o hiel, charamir yev sechumar shon. Orin and dov kumrum o hiel, charamir yev sechumar shon. Vaid a dogs the rain malon, stekak favron svavulatami. Alive. Well, Fiskamagu Vule, good evening, everybody that is watching and listening at home. It's a real delight to be here. It's actually the first time Andrew and I have seen each other since February, so it's lovely to be in the same room. Today we're going to be performing a lot of songs from our debut Stew album Geesh that we launched exactly as we went into lockdown. So unfortunately we didn't get a chance to do any of the material, do any of our gigs. So it does feel particularly special at the end of the year to be rounding off with actually a gig in the same place together. So we started with a song called Evaira Talk. young Margaret, and it's probably quite typical of a lot of Gaelic songs that it sounds very beautiful, but it's got quite a dark tale behind it, and it's written by a broken-hearted man who was ordered by his mother to go out and hunt duck in the pond, and he shoots what he thinks was a duck, but it turns out it was actually his love who had been sent there by the mother to bathe, as she didn't think basically that she was good enough for the son, and he is heartbroken because of this, and is really praying to the king of the elements to give him a wee bit of peace, because he's never been as sad as that before. You will definitely see a pattern in all the Gaelic songs that I pick. They do tend to have quite a sad story behind them. The more beautiful the song, the sadder the tale, and that's definitely no exception. So the exciting thing of the two of us being in here, well, probably the most exciting thing, is that Andrew is allowed a microphone. That does not normally happen, so I'm feeling very brave, and I'm going to let him do a wee bit of the introductions, and I'm hoping he's not going to be too mean about me at the same time now he's on mic.
So the next song we're going to do is a little bit of a happier number. It's called Light Gatherer, and it's one of the newer songs that's been written recently. It's taken from a poem by Carol Ann Duffy from our collection, The Feminine Gospels, and it was set to music by the harp player in Edinburgh, Esther Swift, and it just tells about her joy of motherhood as she looks down on this beautiful baby and all the emotions it brings. That was quite good, wasn't it?
It was. You can have a mic for at least another number. When you were small, your cupped palms each held a candle's worth under the skin, enough light to begin. And as you grew, light gathered in you to clear raindrops in your eyes, warm pearls shine in the lobes of your ears. Even always the light of a smile laughed at your tears. Your kiss feet glowed in my one hand, or I'd entered the room to see the corner you played in, lit like a stage set. The crown of your bowed head spotlit. When language came, it glittered like a river, silver clever with fish, and you slept with a whole moon held in your arms, or a night light where I knelt watching. Light, 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 gatherer. Light, 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 gatherer. You fell from a star into my lap, soft lamp at the bedside mirrored in you. Now you shine like a snow girl, a buttercup under a chin. The wild blue yonder, you squeal out and fly in like a jewel cave, turquoise and diamond and gold, opening out at the end of a tunnel of years. Light, 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 gatherer. is lovely to hear a wee bit of applause, even though there's no audience here. It reassures you that tiny part. So as Finlay was saying early on, Andrew and I are both from Connell, and we grew up performing traditional music, going to the Fèis, going to the Mod, and also doing a bit of classical stuff. Andrew was much more skilled at the classical side than I was, hence why he's allowed to play the instruments and I'm just doing the singing. But we quite like combining the two, the classical world and the Gaelic songs. And actually, in recording Gish, we, despite the fact we've been playing together from a very, very young age, we decided...
How long there?
Yeah, let's not ever talk about that. A long time. We decided to do totally new material, and actually it was quite exciting to look at songs that maybe I wouldn't normally sing and kind of play along with arrangements. When we were when the mod came to Oban, we all took part in the mod, and every... 1990. I mean, I was clearly just a twinkle in my dad's eye then. But we were all encouraged to take part in the mod. And there was a wonderful Isla woman, Mrs. Pollock in Connell, who said if anybody wants to come and learn songs, that she would phonetically teach the children, because none of us spoke Gaelic, how to learn these songs. And she was the most patient woman, I think, we've ever met. Everybody used to come to her house at the same time. We'd sit in her living room and we'd sort of learn each other's songs because we all did it by ear. We just did it by repetition. So Andrew actually has a very good back catalogue of Gaelic songs that span roughly, 90 to 95? Under 13s category. And actually the next song we're going to do, Leisci Hanúch Chrúvi Chash, is one I remember being taught to the girl who was the age group up from me. And I just thought it sounded much more fun than the song. I think I had a lullaby, and that just seemed a wee bit too girly for me, really. And again, it's in some ways it's unrequited love. She has fallen in love with this beautiful man, and but he deceived her, and he promised her all these things that never happened. So she's quite angry in a lot of ways. There's a bit of a backbone there. So we decided to jazz it up a wee bit. Any excuse for Andrew to do some funky keyboards. So this one is for Mary Pollock, or Mrs. Pollock, as Andrew and I still call her, because calling her by her first name just feels wrong. And it's called Leisci Hanúch Chrúvi Chash. Leisci Hanúch Chrúvi Chash, oicer a chul dólich, a leisci choiken Hanúch Chash, gerid a fashe vuad mi, vialde mi, da voiche de vuad mi, as jobbe gasi de mugdoi, gembiak de stores buan ga. Genius valt, maar geen het voorsklug. Kan je som henkje denken van hoe goed ze grijf in gruim roem. Bakke huk me goed maar gulf. Get nog drein me toon nog. En dreim me gel, geen goed jouw. Weet kach jou niet voorsklug.
So we're going to move on to another English song now. And unfortunately, this is the English song that last time I introduced it, I was banned from talking again.
Andrew's sometimes a bit creative with the introductions, and you might get away with that if the song is in Gaelic and the audience don't speak Gaelic. But in the English ones, it's particularly obvious if he's telling the story that's not actually being told in the song. So I'm going to subtly take a drink of water and keep an eye on him out of this side to make sure that he's on the right track.
So we're going to do a song that has appeared in many folk cultures. So there's a Scottish version, an Irish version, an English version. And it's called I Wonder What's Keeping My True Love Tonight. And what's interesting about the version that we've picked is it tells the story both from the female's point of view and then it tells the male point of view as well. So this poor woman is waiting for the man. And,
as always.
Yeah, as always. She loves him. He's great. He's fantastic. But then in the next verse, he arrives and is like, okay, so you've been waiting for me. That's lovely. But I don't actually just love you. I can love lots of people wherever I go. So if you're cool with that, that's okay. If you're not, then, you know.
Spoiler alert, she's not.
She's not. Now, this is where we differ because then she's got a lovely verse where she's like, I've got gold in my pocket. I've got all this stuff. I'm okay without you.
But she doesn't really, because she says, I've got gold in my pocket, and then she says, and pain in my heart, which is why I feel it's quite a sad song, less girl power compared to what Andrew's take on it.
See, I think she just don't need no man. Anyway, so she's obviously quite heartbroken. And that's how the song really finishes, with her saying how sad she is.
I mean, it was an improvement on last time. I'm still not sure whether I'm going to let him keep the microphone, but I think it's a very beautiful song, and it's featuring Andrew on Shruti Box, my Shruti Box, but he won't let me play it. So if you can hear a drone in the background, that comes from Andrew. I wonder what's keeping my true love tonight. I wonder what is keeping you out of my sight. I wonder if you know all the pain I endure, and yet you stay from me this night. I'm not sure. Oh, love, are you coming? My own cause to advance. Or yet are you waiting a far better chance? Are you coming to tell me you've a new love in store? Are you coming to tell me you love me no more? Oh no, I'm not coming my own cause to advance, nor yet am I waiting a far better chance. I am coming to tell you I've a new love in store. I am coming to tell you I love you no more. For I can love lightly, and I can love strong, and I can love an old love till the new love comes on. I only said I loved you for to give your heart ease, and when I'm not with you, I love whom I please. weight in my pocket and pain in my heart. For I can't love and not love with too many sweethearts. You're my first and only false love, but it's lately I knew. The fonder I loved you, the falser you'd prove. Green grass grows the sweetest, spring water runs clear. I'm sorry and demented by the love of my false dear. Your love it lies as lightly as the dew on the thorn that descends in the evening away with the dawn. I wonder what's keeping my true love tonight. I wonder what is keeping you out of my sight. I wonder if you know of the pain I endure. And yet you stay from me this night, I'm not sure. Sad, I think. So we are going to carry on now with a wee bit of Poor Stabile, and Poor Stabile literally means tunes from your mouth, and this is a very specific type of Gaelic song. Tunes were sung for dancing, so if you didn't have any musicians, no instruments, you could sing the songs, and that would mean that the dancers had something to dance to. So the rhythm is really taking precedence here rather than the words, although the words are fun too. And we're going to do a couple of jigs. Nían na Caliche Crochtige Crúbich, which is the daughter of the old crotchety lady. And Fach of Maddy Nían Alistair, have you seen Mary, the daughter of Ian Alistair? And then finishing off with Oh, Handabach Dude. Oh, the tobacco is expensive. So there's not really much room here for me to dance around, thankfully, because I'm way too old and unfit now to dance and sing at the same time. But if anybody at home wants to have a wee jig around the living room, this is your time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nín na Caliche Crochtige Crúbich, hundige cool, the scratch get him, verrepige kassen, maar schacher and all, the hundige cool, the scratch get him. Nín na Caliche Crochtige Crúbich, hundige cool, the scratch get him, verrepige kassen, maar schacher and all, the hundige cool, the scratch get him. Hundige cool, if hundige cool, if hundige cool, the scratch get him. Hundige cool, if hundige cool, if hundige cool, the scratch get him. Hundige cool, if repige and door, hundige cool, the scratch get him. Money in the Caliche misses them do, we hundige cool, the scratch get him. Nín na Caliche Crochtige Crúbich, hundige cool, the scratch get him. Verrepige kassen, maar schacher and all, the hundige cool, the scratch get him. Nín na Caliche Crochtige Crúbich, hundige cool, the scratch get him. Verrepige kassen, maar schacher and all, the hundige cool, the scratch get him. Hundige cool, if hundige cool, if hundige cool, the scratch get him. Hundige cool, if hundige cool, if hundige cool, the scratch get him. Hundige cool, if repige and door, the hundige cool, the scratch get him. Annie in the Caliche misses and do, we hundige cool, the scratch get him. Fachsje Madin in Ulster, fachsje Madin in Hamish, fachsje Madin in Ulster, beat the middle de hele fachsje Madin in Ulster, je Madin in Hamish, fachsje Madin in Ulster, beat the middle de hele kruin. Ger skip op de kruin, skip op de geleeste kruin. Ger skip op de beat the middle de hele kruin. Ger skip op de kruin, skip op de geleeste kruin. Ger skip op de beat the middle de hele fachsje Madin in Ulster, je Madin in Hamish, fachsje Madin in Ulster, beat the middle de hele fachsje Madin in Ulster, je Madin in Hamish, fachsje Madin in Ulster, beat the middle de hele kruin. Ger skip op de kruin, skip op de geleeste kruin. Ger skip op de beat the middle de hele kruin. Ger skip op de kruin, skip op de geleeste kruin. Ger skip op de beat the middle de hele. Oh, on the back of the huro on the backini, on the back of their bjarlim, get out till you go on the back of the huro on the backini, on the back of their bjarlim, get out till you guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea, oh on the back of the huro on the backini, on the back of their bjarlim, get out till you go on the back of the huro on the backini, on the back of their bjarlim, get out till you guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea, oh on the back of the huro on the backini, on the back of their bjarlim, get out till you go on the back of the huro on the backini, on the back of their bjarlim, get out till you guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea at a hullipin, pin that a hulla guinea, ha guinea at a fun, spend daddy guinea ho. I do love watching Andrew playing that one because in the first tune, the only way he could do it is if he crosses his hands and plays like this.
When you have a really good idea that you want to do and then realise in practice.
Theoretically sound, practically hard.
Yeah. So while Joy catches her breath after that, I thought I'd tell you about the next song.
I am fine.
She's getting old.
This is why he doesn't get a microphone normally.
So the next song is a song that I found, and it's from Halifax originally, and it's called The Testimony of Patience Kershaw. And Patience Kershaw was a young girl working down the mines, and in 1842, when they were carrying out the commission for child labour and child exploitation, this is the testimony she gave. By 17 years old, she'd already been working in the mines for over 6 years, and she tells of the hardships that she had, how it was dirty, how it was really hard work, how she was the only girl down there. It was all men, most of whom were naked and would pinch her and slap her if she was too slow. But the saddest thing is that she doesn't seem to have any ill will against anyone. She just accepts as her fate. And what really gets me is in the last verse, she turns to the man who's interviewing and says, "Thanks for all you're doing, but I know that in reality, the situation's not going to change, and it's going to take more than 100 years before we can stand next to each other as equals."
It breaks my heart, this one. It's just such a sad story behind it, and she's so inspiring, and a really beautiful song that was written by
Frank Higgins.
We love Patience. Yeah. we have a Justice for Patience campaign between the two of us because
we were recording this. It was new to Joy, and after every take, she just kept turning and going, "It's sad. It's really sad."
So yeah, we hope that you love Patience as much as we do. It's good of you to ask me, sir, to tell you how I spent my days down in a coal black tunnel, sir. I hurry corves to earn my pay. The corves are full of coal, kind sir. I push them with my hands and head. It isn't ladylike, but sir, you've got to earn your daily bread. Push them with my hands and head, and so my hair gets worn away. You see this baldy patch I got, it pains me like I just can't say. A lady's hands are lily white, but mine are full of cuts and sags. And since I'm pushing all the time, I've great big muscles on my legs. Tried to be respectable, but sir, the shame, God save my soul. I work with naked, sweating men who curse and swear and hear the call, the sights, the sounds, the smells, kind sir. Not even God could know my shame. I say my prayers, but what's the use? Tomorrow tomorrow will be just the same. Now sometimes, sir, I don't feel well. My stomach's sick, my head it aches. I've got to hurry best I can. My knees are weak, my back near breaks. And then I'm slow, and then I'm scared. These naked men will batter me. They're not to blame for if I'm slow. Their families will starve, you see. And all the lads, they laugh at me. And sir, the mirror tells me why. Pale and dirty can't look nice. It doesn't matter how I try. Great big muscles on my legs, a body patch upon my head. A lady, sir, oh no, not me. I should have been a boy instead. I praise your good intentions, sir. I love your kind and gentle heart. But now it's 1842, and you and I were miles apart. 100 years or more will pass before we're standing side by side. But please accept my grateful thanks. God bless you, sir, at least you tried. Hello, Shigamod. Lenny Shinorley or in Gaelic Ilanish. We'll carry on with another Gaelic song. This is a Vichiang Ikemish, and he was out fighting and had been wounded in war, and it's actually his wet nurse that writes this song. She's watching him going out to fight. She's seeing him being wounded, and she actually ran onto the battlefield herself and sucked the poison out of the wound. And I mean, she's amazing. She's definitely the brave one in this scenario. Yes, there's a lot of sassy Gaelic ladies to, I guess, balance out the ones who are maybe a wee bit more heartbroken and left alone. But what is interesting about this one is you quite often find it in Gaelic cultures. There's the same song takes many different forms, and this is definitely one of this one. The beginning of the song, we're starting with the Odd and Moors, the kind of big song version, and then we're carrying on with the maybe more well-known popular walking song version. And Gaels are very versatile, clearly, because you do see that quite a lot. The similar themes running through lots of different songs, but actually actually specifically the same song being treated in different ways as you move around. So it's the wonder of the oral culture, really, that you get all these differences. And I think it's amazing that we can do it. And if anybody can remember back in the midst of time when Andrew was officially young, and in the Young Trad competition, he performed this as part of his set, and it was the fabulous Katrina Watt that was singing. Unfortunately, Katrina is not here. We couldn't sneak her in. So you're stuck with me. So Shoak of Maha, a Vichkiain ich Kamish. Vichkiain ich Kamish at the scale it mother, it father, lilio, it father, lilio, the blood here, the female malamov, the linje baloch in Vad alene balok farallelio Svami hinga suvukas nauher manalio Idike vogi di elekio Idike voro hio Svami hinga suvukas nauher manalio farallelio Ablarne keje vadar mer malanne vio Idike vogi di elekio Idike voro hio Fullt och skimskör het rövakt han hörst farallelo Spojach mig alje jakt och räken falla in hio I think you for hit the elekio I think you var hio Spojach mig alje jakt och räken falla in farallelo Hata gav bevisst glad I gud falla hio I think you for hit the elekio I think you var I think we like the whoopee applause. It's like being at a festival. Apart from there's no audience. Hooray! And the crowd go
To be fair,
wild.
the Chenault Keeleys are very similar. Okay, so we're coming up to our second last song now. I was hoping for another sound effect there, maybe an awe or something.
I think 3 rounds of applause is maybe pushing it too much.
So this is, again, it's an English song that's quite popular now. It's called Saints and Singers.
Sinners.
Sinners.
No singers. I'm a singer.
And it's written by, the name's gone out of my head, don't tell me, Peter,
No.
Paul, no,
Nothing like that.
Francis?
David.
Francie? David Francis.
Francis.
David Francis.
There's a reason I always do the introductions. And then Andrew gets annoyed with me. He's like, I can do it. It's not that hard. David Francis.
There's a story that I'm not going to go into now why I got that mixed up. And anyways, this is actually quite a sad song. He's reflecting back on kind of the place of religion in his life now when he looks out in the world. And to him, there's a bit of a disconnect between what he sees, people going to mass, and then what's actually happening out in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably for this political climate, it's very appropriate. And I'm definitely always attracted to the sadder songs, but also ones that have quite a strong story. And this is definitely one. So I hope you all enjoy it.
This is also the song that Joy and I just fell out on recording. She may have sent me a version in 4. I prepared a lovely accompaniment. We got to recording and she was like, Andrew, it's wrong.
Again, this is also the reason why Andrew has never allowed a microphone. I was asserting my creative input capacity, creativity. But this version is the correct one, I promise. It was Sunday morning in our town, and I sat on my steps and I stared at the ground, and I bowed my head while they shuffled past, all the saints being torn to the morning mass. And off in the distance there rang a bell. Way off in the distance there rang a bell, and it rang for the saints and the sinners as well. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. I remember the lessons from Sunday school, and I can't help but think maybe I'm the fool, for I see no sign of a greater plan, just the joy and the sorrow of my fellow man. And off in the distance there rang a bell. Way off in the distance there rang a bell, and it rang for the saints and the sinners as well. Way off in the distance there rang a bell, and here we stand while life rushes past, between the first breath and the last. And here we stand between east and west, and here we stand between birth and death. And here we stand while life rushes past, between the first breath and the last. And here we stand between east and west, and here we stand between birth and death. was watching the news the other night. There was a war on the left, there was a war on the right. And it's no surprise that it's us or them. It's a long way from heaven to Bethlehem. And off in the distance there rang a bell. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. And it rang for the saints and the sinners as well. Way off in the distance there rang a bell. Nisha ha sin tían go críach ar curm an dú ach bevalim sa tein go horsa Simon agus a hula duine cans up for trad son churm seo a horst gain man hafis ac nula chaniel an tuavas chorman a riakin in blian a bhil chanil chorman each a riakinje agus mar sin ha me hasine fatta an common hands up for trad san seo agus hat a vigian of upper involta fatta bliana agus femer and modig. So we're coming up to our last one now, but I just wanted to thank Hands Up for Trad and Simon in particular for inviting us here. This has obviously been a terrible year for musicians. As I was saying earlier, Andrew and I launched an album and literally on the day we went into lockdown. So we haven't had a chance to do anything together. I've not seen Andrew since February. So it's really lovely to be here. We so appreciate it. And, I've been working a bit with Hands Up for Trad this year and I've really seen the power of work that Simon and Percy put in behind the scenes to give musicians opportunity and to just make things like this happen. So Kiat Mila thank you all so much for this. We do really appreciate you. I think it's great that the trads are happening virtually this year and we'll definitely be watching tonight in our jammies, having a wee shindig at home. Anything you'd like to say before we finish off?
Thank you for my microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping me from watching another 4-in-a-bed marathon this afternoon.
He will not be getting a microphone again. Ha sin na dulachríochtach maha le oren ire bíshiv uliolach, and we're going to finish off with a slower song that you will all know by Robert Burns. I mean, where do you start in the Robert Burns canon? There are so many, but this is one of our favourite, A Fond Kiss, and you'll hear some of it in Scots, and we've also got some of it in Gaelic for you. A fond kiss and then voice ever, a farewell alas forever, deep in heart wrung tears I'll pledge thee, warring sighs and groans away. Who shall say that fortune grieves him while a star of hope she leaves him? Mean a cheerful twinkle lights me, dark despair around benights me. feicin va y gacrych gulchi Ishe vanye shil guduna Murebe ar gul chokainyal Murebe ar gul skamailiaun Murebe ar katcherif gragach Chafiganish ar karich ganchach Sorry, slan, legerush na vidin. Sorry, slan, legel chopdishel. Utsaka yamo yoslanche. She koharsh del garag is tachnyas. If on kiss and voice ever, if it will last forever, deep in heart wrung tears of pledge of